We're told that poverty is a complex problem. Politicians tell us it will take decades to fix. Economists tell us we don't have enough resources. We are told that the world is simply too big and too broken to save everyone. But what if I told you that was a lie? What if I told you that the solution to global hunger isn't a mystery? It is a simple math equation, and we have had the answer for 1400 years. The Islamic Sharia has been the solutions for decades. According to the United Nations, it would cost approximately $300 billion to end world hunger. That sounds like a lot of money, but let's put it in perspective. The world's top billionaires have trillions of dollars sitting in bank accounts, effectively doing nothing. In the last few years alone, the wealth of the top 1% has skyrocketed, while the bottom 50% has struggled to buy bread. We do not have a resource problem, we have a circulation problem. We have built a global economic system that acts like a dam. It traps the water at the top, leaving the riverbed below dry and cracked. But there is a system designed to break the dam, a system that doesn't just suggest charity, but mandates a cure. It is called Zakat. To understand the solution, we first have to diagnose the disease. The modern capitalist economy is built on one dangerous idea: the accumulation of wealth. You are taught to make money, save money, and hoard money. The goal is to see the number in your bank account go up and never come down. We celebrate the man who dies with the most toys. But think about the human body. Blood must circulate. If blood stops moving and gathers in one place, what happens? It becomes a clot, and a clot kills the body. Money is the blood of society. When the rich hoard it, the economy gets a blood clot. The poor starve, businesses close, and crime rises. The society dies. Western governments try to fix this with income tax. They tax you when you work. They tax you when you produce. But this is backward. Why are we punishing people for working hard? Islam takes a completely different approach. It doesn't tax your income, it taxes your stagnation. Enter the concept of zakat. Most people translate zakat as charity. This is a mistranslation. Charity is optional. It is a favor. Zakat is not a favor. It is a right. In the Islamic worldview, your wealth does not belong to you. It belongs to the Creator, and He has entrusted it to you, and He has placed a condition on it. You cannot hold it all. The rule is simple. If you have wealth that has been sitting stagnant for 1 lunar year, savings, gold, stocks, money that isn't being used, you must pay 2.5% of it to the poor. This is not a tax on what you earn, it is a tax on what you hoard. Think about the genius of this mechanic. If you know your savings will be taxed by 2.5% every year, what do? You don't leave it under the mattress, you invest it, you start a business, you employ people, you circulate the money. Zakat forces the water behind the dam to flow. Now, you might think zakat is just about dipping into a bank account, but the system is far more intelligent than that. Islam recognizes that wealth isn't just paper money. Wealth is food, wealth is livestock, wealth is merchandise. So zakat targets every engine of the economy. If you're a farmer and you harvest a field of wheat or dates, you don't pay cash. You give a portion of that food directly to the poor immediately upon harvest. This guarantees food security. If you're a shepherd with a herd of 40 sheep, you don't calculate a tax. You give 1 sheep to the poor. This guarantees meat and clothing. If you're a shopkeeper selling clothes or electronics, you calculate the value of your goods and pay on that inventory. And if you hold gold, silver, or cash, you pay on that. Do you see the genius? It covers everything. The poor are not just given money, they are guaranteed food from the farmer, meat from the rancher, and clothes from the merchant. But here is the rule that changes everything. Zakat is only mandatory on wealth that has the potential to grow. Your personal house? No zakat. Your car that you drive? No zakat. The clothes you wear? No zakat. Islam protects your personal necessities. Nobody will force you to sell your home to feed the poor. Zakat targets the surplus. It targets the growth assets, the things you use to make more money. It targets the herd that breeds, the field that grows, the money that invests. This encourages the wealthy to keep their assets productive. If a farmer leaves his land barren, he produces nothing, but he helps no one. If he farms it, he grows wealth for himself, and he automatically feeds the poor through zakat. It is a system designed to force productivity. You cannot just sit on resources. You must use them, grow them, and share them. If the top 1% of every industry, agriculture, tech, real estate, and banking, paid their specific zakat, we wouldn't just solve hunger, we would solve the cost of living crisis. But does the math actually work? Let's run the numbers. Global household wealth is estimated to be over $450 trillion. A huge portion of that is held by the top 1%. If we applied the zakat rule of 2.5% just to the liquid assets of the world's wealthiest people, we would generate trillions of dollars annually. Remember, the UN says we need roughly $300 billion to end hunger. Zakat would generate 10 times that amount in a single year. We could end hunger. We could eradicate homelessness. We could fund hospitals in every developing nation. We could pay off the debts of the crushing poor. All of this with just 2.5%. It's a tiny slice. It doesn't bankrupt the rich. The millionaire is still a millionaire, but that tiny slice is enough to save the world. It is the perfect balance between the right to be rich and the right of the poor to survive. But zakat is not just an economic tool, it is a spiritual soap. The word zakat itself comes from the Arabic root meaning to purify or to cleanse. When you hoard wealth while your neighbor starves, that wealth becomes dirty. It becomes a weight on your soul. It creates envy, jealousy, and class warfare. The poor hate the rich, and the rich fear the poor. Zakat cleanses the heart. It tells the poor man, you are not forgotten, and it tells the rich man, you are not a master, you are a caretaker. It destroys the ego. It reminds us that we leave this world with empty pockets just as we entered it, and it encourages humanity towards a good life and happiness for both sides. The world is looking for complex solutions to poverty. We are printing money, creating debt, and holding summits. But the answer isn't in a new economic theory. It was revealed 1,400 years ago in the desert. We don't need more money. We just need to purify the money we have. If the world embraced this one simple rule, poverty wouldn't be a reality. It would be history.